Is your mind under siege? Have you ever caught yourself mid thought wondering, maybe it's you? That moment, that quiet question, is where so many survivors find themselves. It's subtle, it's invisible, and exactly what happened to Annie. And it didn't happen during a fight, it happened in the quiet, late at night, just by herself, sitting at her kitchen table. This is Annie's story, and I'm telling it for her. The house at night was so quiet and still, and she sat at the kitchen table with a cup of tea. The light above was casting a soft glow over her open journal. She sat there looking at the blank page with a pen in her hand. For weeks, she had been trying to make sense of what was happening to her. There had been no bruises, no yelling, nothing she could actually point to and say, there it is. Something inside her was just draining away. She didn't know how to stop it. She picked up her pen. She wrote, I feel so, and then she stopped. She tapped the pen against the page. The words didn't feel right. I don't know, they seemed too dramatic. She tried again. He makes me feel. And immediately in her mind, she heard his mocking voice. Always playing the victim, he would say. Her hand tightened around the pen. She crossed out the sentence. She started over. Tonight, he. And she stopped again. How could she explain the way that he had looked across the dinner table? Not with anger, certainly not with love. He looked right through her as though she wasn't there. So how do you explain nothing? How do you write that down? How do you express being erased in real time? She stared at the crossed out sentences one by one, her attempts to name what was happening. It just turned into silence right there on the page. And then, barely above a whisper, she said it out loud. Maybe it's me. That was the moment. It wasn't a fight, not a betrayal, just a single sentence spoken into a quiet kitchen. A mind once so sure of itself now was under siege. This is how invisible abuse works. It doesn't scream. Sometimes it whispers, and it's slowly over the years until it just rearranges your thoughts. When there are no bruises, no dramatic scenes, it's easy to start believing you are the unreliable narrator of your own story. You then start to rewrite your journal entries. You silence yourself before anyone else can. You question the tone of your voice, your facial expressions, your right to be hurt. Survivors often tell me I started to feel crazy. But what's really happening is psychological erosion. The abuser doesn't have to raise their voice. It can get you to doubt your mind. They don't need you to do anything else. Your self-doubt becomes their effective tool. And here's the most painful part. These moments rarely get recognized. No one else was there at the kitchen table when he looked right through you. There's no evidence to show what happened. It's an invisible wound. But invisible doesn't mean imaginary. If you ever sat there, pen in hand, heart full of confusion, whispering, maybe it's me, I want you to hear this so clearly. It wasn't weakness. It was a survival response to an unbearable, invisible reality. And it does not define your worth. Absolutely not. This one's for the woman who crossed out her own sentences. for the survivor who rewrote their truth until even they could barely recognize it, for the soul who stared at a blank page and wondered if the problem was her. I see you. Your doubt doesn't make your pain less real. Your hesitation doesn't make your story less valid. And that quiet moment, the one no one else saw, it's exactly where your strength still lives. Because if your mind can be pushed to doubt itself, guess what? It can also reclaim itself. I'm Keil Hackley, attorney, author of the book Undercurrent, and your host here. Annie's story reminds us that truth matters, especially the quiet truths that get overlooked. If this episode resonated with you at all, please let me know in the comments. It's really your stories that keeps this space alive. I see it in your comments, and I appreciate it so much. We're helping each other. And as always, remember, you are stronger than you ever believed. You are a warrior against narcissistic abuse. And you are tenacious. You are not alone here, not in this space, you're not. And thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you for always showing up. Just promise me that you'll take good care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye.